Hello, we are at Albert Tanner's house at 1417 Ashwood Drive. The reason for this video I'm recording today is to show the difference between wear and tear, blistering, and hail damage. There are all three can have similar signs, but all three are completely different. All three are present on this roof. However, all three does not mean, or all three being present on the roof does not mean that there is no hail. I've marked some blistering, I've marked some hail, and I've marked some wear and tear. Excuse me. Actually, beside me, I just found a great example of a blister. So we are on the back slope right now. This is where the test square was during the initial inspection. I just went back and underlined some things to point out. Very obvious hail damage. This is very obvious blistering. And the reason why is if you zoom in, you can really see those fibers. But the main thing is there's no embedded granules. And although it is circular, it's hard to the touch. It's not bouncing up and down. It's hard to the touch. Blistering occurs when heat and moisture or whatever is present on the roof, and similar to like a pizza in an oven, it starts to bubble, and it actually does the exact opposite of hail damage. Instead of impacting the shingle, it grows outward and blisters. That's why we call them blisters. Just like on our skin, does the same thing to a roof. Now to show an example of a hail hit, and we have some collateral to show you as well right here. This dent on this vent would not be present if something had not fallen and hit it. And as you can see, it's very similar in size to this right here. I re-underlined this because if I tap this, it's kind of hard to see, but it's bouncing up and down. Right here, another good example of it. See how spongy that is? And I zoom in, and you can see granules are embedded. Now, this is a black roof, so it's going to be kind of more difficult to see. But if I touch right here, it's exactly where it is. And if I put my shadow over it, you can see it a little better. Those granules are in fact embedded into the shingle. And I'm not just going to show you this one slope, I'm going to show you 3 out of 4 slopes, just because I feel that would be the most helpful to this claim. This right here is another hail hit. Granules embedded into the shingle, soft to the touch. The shingle is damaged, the matting is damaged, and when I touch the shingle, I can physically feel it going up and down. Same thing here. I'm gonna put my shadow over it just because it's, again, black roof, harder to see. Now, excuse me, if I touch this roof, it is spongy. Or if I touch this hail hit, it's spongy, it bounces up and down. If I zoom in, these granules are in fact embedded into the shingle, which is what caused that matting damage. Now to go, I wanted to show over here, because on these slopes, the right, left, and front slopes have the best examples of wear and tear, but they do in fact have hail damage as well. This right here is a blister. You can see the fibers in the matting. When I zoom in, if I touch it, it's not hard, or it is hard, excuse me. It's not very soft to the touch. It's clearly not hail. However, here is a hail hit. There's some pretty bad granule loss on this roof, which is going back to that wear and tear part. Wear and tear can cause circular indentations, but once again, going back to those embedded granules, although this shingle here has some severe granule loss, you can still see where the granules have been embedded. And if I touch this spot right here, it's I mean, you can see it on camera. It's going up and down. This is another great example of blistering. You can see those fibers very clearly. And although this is pretty severe blistering, it's still relatively hard to the touch. Went back here, this is one that our friend from Hancock came out and marked. This is a great example of a hail hit. Once again, those granules have been embedded into that shingle and you can still see them. And when I touch the shingle, it's going up and down. And that is at the top of a shingle where that typically would not occur. Here's a gray area example that's trying to be an ampersand in the middle, but that's wear and tear. That's what that stands for. As you can see here on this, they're missing granules. There's clear damage, but again, not covered by insurance. But I'm not calling that hail, and obviously I'm not gonna call this here hail. It's too large. It could have been at one point, but today you can't see it. This is another clear example of a hail hit. I mean, it stands out amongst the other spots on this roof. So if I back up, you can clearly see the hit. And if I touch it, once again, soft embedded granules about the size of my fingertip, which is, I want to say 3/8 of an inch. So that could be probably about a 3/4 inch hail hit. And same here, this one's actually bigger than the size of my finger. Once again, if I touch it at the top, it's spongy, it's damaged from hail. Here, another example, stands out amongst the rest of the shingles. If I back up, you can view it. And once again, soft to the touch, embedded granules. Ow, that roof burns, but. And right here, I'm gonna show on the ridge caps. This is another clear example of a hail hit. Those granules are still embedded despite the wear and tear to the roof. And look at that. That's soft matting right there. That's as soft as pretty much anything could get. It feels like I'm touching a trampoline. But that right there is an example of wear and tear. I touched it earlier. I'm not gonna walk over there just because the granules are very slippery on this roof and I don't wanna get hurt. Now, let's go to this right slope right here. I'm not gonna be walking down it because that would take me all day with my pitch hopper and it would make this video a lot longer than it needs to be. But here's a clear example of a hail hit. You can see, once again, it stands out if I zoom out. And then if I touch it, that matting there is damaged and soft. And there still are granules embedded into the shingle itself. If I zoom in further, you can still see them. That is not blistering, and that is not wear and tear. Onto the front here, where there's the most severe granule loss. You can see there's a lot of this up here, but a lot of it that we're not calling hail. There's a ton of granule loss. This is what wear and tear looks like. But within the wear and tear, you can find hail damage. These circular impacts to the roof, we didn't mark all of them. For example, we didn't mark that one right there, but we did mark this one right here. And the reason why we did is because, once again, soft to the touch, embedded granules. Right here, similar situation. Very soft to the touch with some embedded granules. And once again, that collateral damage would not have occurred on this roof. This dent would not be here. And it would not be roughly the same size as all the other hail that we're claiming is on the roof, if not for a hailstorm. I mean, that is roughly the exact same size. And using my fingertip as an example to show you, That dent right there is about the same size as my finger, which is just about the same size as every other dent on the property, and all the impacts on the shingles. I'm at 1417 Ashwood Drive for Mr. Albert Tanner, recording this video documenting the collateral damage to his downspouts. And as you can see right here, that's a clear impact. There's another clear impact that's just lower to the ground, so that could be considered as collateral. It could be on the verge, but way up top here is a clear impact. That is unarguable to say that came from anything else except something falling out of the sky. It's got a circular impact on it that indicates hail damage. On these gutters or downspouts right here, there's more dings up top. There's some right around here that are in fact circular. This is above 6 feet. My height is 5'11", so those are probably anywhere between 6 to 7 feet off the ground. This downspout here has some lower level dings on it. However, there is no place really a lawnmower could have thrown it. Considering there's a driveway right here, you wouldn't really be running a lawnmower over that. And then there's a pretty good one right here at this top. It's a clear impact from something falling out the sky. Something being hail. Now this downspout has a little bit of a different story. It had something smack it, but there's clearly 2 more impacts that happened around the same area, both at different heights, that caused damage to the downspout, as well as one on the side right there. And going down further, you can see more dings on the downspout. They're all roughly the same size, anywhere between 1/2 inch to 0.75 inches along those lines. And this downspout right here, this is the final one that I wanted to show you. Has a very clear impact on it here. And then all the way up top, there's another one right there. And that will be the end of the video.